guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to make a jersey corset top, which I already have the top on. This is just the mock-up and it just happened to work out quite well. I have a few things that I changed in the actual pattern, but it's basically the same. We're also gonna make it in this gorgeous orange color. And in the very beginning I went ahead and draped the pattern on my bust. I did that with a non-stretchy fabric just because I didn't have a stretchy mock-up fabric. Usually you wouldn't do that. Actually, you would use the same fabric that the top or whatever garment will be made out of in the very end, so that you have the same stretch, elasticity, and so on and so forth. So I just used a normal mock-up fabric and I made the pattern and also made the mock-up and then adjusted the width for the jersey. So I made it in this fabric right here and then just turned it inside out and, you know, took out whatever width I had too much in it because of the non-elastic mock-up fabric. Then I sewed it again. This time it fitted and I was ready to make the pattern and do all of the changes that I had made in the fitting before. And now we can go ahead and start making this top. It's actually pretty simple sew, if you ask me, because it only has a few lines. So it has these half cups right here in the front dividing seams, back dividing seams, and side seams. That's basically all. And we're gonna go and start with sewing. So keep in mind that we are dealing with elastic fabric right now. So if you have an elastic stitch such as a zigzag stitch or something similar on your domestic machine or your industrial machine, go ahead and use that. If you don't have that, you need to stretch the fabric while sewing it. That's what I'm gonna do because my domestic machine is not with me at the moment. So I will be using my normal industrial machine, which can only do a straight stitch. I will be holding the fabric while sewing so that the elasticity of the stitch is there, which you need for the piece itself. We're going to start with our front piece, this piece right here, because as you can see right here, the cup seam needs to be done first so that we have one long seam that we can put onto the side front right here. This should just perfectly fit together. So we are going to put right sides together like this and sew this seam right here. And that is what it looks like. We're going to iron the seam allowance towards the cups, and as you can see, I also went ahead and overlocked the seam. I am overlocking while sewing, or like after I sewed every seam basically, so you can do that too with your zigzag stitch or your overlock machine. Whatever you have, everything is fine. So it should look like this afterwards, and that is already the front piece almost done. We're going to attach the side front right now, which is this piece right here, and you should find a notch up here that is called upper cup notch. This should match up with the upper edge or the stitching line of your cup on both sides. So we're also going to put right sides together while matching up every notch that you have in the pattern, and of course also the upper cup notch, and we're going to sew the piece onto the front piece until the upper cup notch. I am also going to iron the seams towards the side seam here, and a tailor's hem just like that is useful for seams like the cup seam up here, as you have a round surface that you can iron the seam on. So just like this. We can already go ahead and make the back piece. It's these two pieces here, the side back and the back, which lays on fold. So we have 3 pieces in total. If we open the back up, it's this kind of triangular shaped piece. And then the side back is this piece right here. And you're gonna find a notch in the side back as well, which marks the stitching line in the back as well. So we're gonna put right sides together and stitch from waist to a notch right here on both pieces. So we're gonna sew this together first, and then we're gonna sew this on the other side as well. And the seam allowance gets ironed towards the side seams. And we can put front and back pieces together, sewing the side seams together and closing the shoulder seams up here. And that is what the top looks like. I went ahead and overlocked the armholes and also the hem of the top, because I'm just going to fold it over and then top stitch it, as that's the less bulky method, I would say, to sew the hem and the armholes, at least for my fabric, as my fabric is already pretty thick. I don't want to add any more bulk using any specific jersey hemming methods that you might know, but obviously it depends on which kind of fabric you're using and how you want to make this top. So if you feel like you want to use another version or another method of hemming or like cleaning up the outer seams, you can of course do whatever you like. I am just going to fold over the hem and top stitching it, just like I will do with the armholes. For the neckline, I will be using some elastic like this in a color that is closest to my color of my fashion fabric. I don't have anything else, that's why this will be the color. And we're going to sew this right sides together, and then we're gonna fold it just like this and top stitch it so that it looks neat and tidy on the inside. But on top of that, we're going to stretch the elastic so that in the front it's gonna help with reducing gaping here in the bust area, which we obviously want to avoid. So we're going to pull on the elastic while sewing it so that it cinches the fabric together and keeps everything in place. As you can see right here, that's what it's gonna look like, and you know, nothing falls out. I like this method very much because it also, I did that all around the bust area and then also here on the back neck. It also keeps the straps right here from falling off of the shoulder because it has it pulls on it basically. So that's what we're gonna do as well. We're gonna use this and we're gonna start in the very back, putting the shiny side up because I want the shiny side to be on the inside, as I don't like it that much, and then folding it right here. So I will be just putting it here and then stitching closely to the middle of my elastic band right here while stretching it, and then I will also stretch the whole piece as I have my straight stitch. If you're using a zigzag stitch, you don't need to stretch the whole piece. You just need to stretch this a tiny bit so that it gathers the fabric together. And the last thing to do is to just fold this over. I'm just gonna do like the overlock stitch, so like 5mm, and top stitch it closely to the edge of the overlock stitch right here. So also at around 5mm here and also here in the armhole, and the top is already done. And that's it already for today's video. This was a super easy, fast sew. I'm super sorry about the lack of my microphone. I just couldn't get it to work. I don't know what's up. I'm gonna look at it for next week so that you have good audio quality. Again, I hope it wasn't too bad, but this top is really cute. As you can see, I really like it, and I'm gonna make it probably in black, and I have the fabric in purple as well. It's pretty easy and it looks pretty nice, so I'm really happy with the outcome. I hope you are too. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel down below and ring the bell so you'll get notified every time that I post. I post on Sundays, so you can keep an eye out for that. And in the meantime, you can go ahead and check out my Instagram. I am posting loads of reels all about my projects here on my YouTube, so if you need a few tips and tricks, you could definitely go ahead and check out my Insta, as you'll find them there. So yeah, and the pattern, as per usual, is linked down below in the comment, in the pinned comment, and in the video description. That's the most direct way to support me and my channel and keep videos just like this coming, because it takes up a lot of time and you know. So thank you so much, and I'm gonna see you next Sunday. Bye guys!